All right, everybody. You guys ready for another Good Movies podcast? I know I am,
Yes, sir.
as
Oh
usual.
yeah.
Yeah.
One day I'll be back in front of my collection, and we can all match our backgrounds.
Jody, I think you should put it in the back seat, like make a wall.
Yeah. Just take a picture and do a poster behind it. That'd be good.
Hey,
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
Do you care to turn the gain down on your microphone just a little
Okay.
bit? You're a little hot. On my end, you're a little hot.
Let's see here. Where's that?
I
I
think
got
it
this.
kind of sounds
I got the new cameras.
looks good.
Okay, I might drop out and come back in, guys. Hang on.
Yeah. Sorry, I did that. Well, I guess this week's topic. We have topics sometimes we don't, but you would think since the Olympic theme posters and stuff, but the thumbnail's not Olympic theme, so everything's so confusing. I just make up crazy stuff to kind of. I don't really have a certain concept in mind usually each week, but I don't really. Crap! I forgot to get down my Olympic set, but no, we're going to talk about what's happened to the summer comedies and talk about like reboots and how I'm tired of them. You and it's just how Hollywood's just completely. I guess to start it off, Hollywood's just completely lost any creativity, and
Yeah.
and I guess we can kind of discuss. Each of us can kind of talk about why we feel that that's happened. Because for me, it's just I'm gonna try not to say anything, but it kind of ties into the accusations against the former director of the Secret Service, the kind of accusations about her, kind of the same things going on in Hollywood. You basically have people that are not qualified to be doing jobs just because they meet a certain demographic. And it's not always the case, but Hollywood has kind of made it. Hollywood has kind of made it. Jaden Smith, oh, Jesus. But Hollywood's kind of made it that way a little bit because there's some things behind the scenes that they've implemented to make sure this happens in their movies. But it's just, I mean, Hollywood is always kind of they've remade movies over the years. The Star is Born, it's been remade like 4 times.
At least, yeah.
And there's been movies that have inspired other movies, but inspiration is not just like rebooting something. It's not like somebody deciding, "Hey, I'm gonna reboot The Big Lebowski," even though The Big Lebowski was inspired by the big what's the Bogart movie? The big
Oh,
Big Sleep.
Big Sleep.
yeah.
The Big Sleep is inspiration, but it's obviously not like a direct copy. Hello, Sydney. Comedy ain't what it used to be. Nothing's fun anymore. Too much Hollywood BS. Yes,
Pretty much.
absolutely. Sorry, I was ranting there a little bit. I was messing with the chat and everything.
The last comedy that I really laughed at, out loud funny, was No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
I really had fun with that movie. And it was like
Well-
one of those raunchy like 80s, 90s comedies that you used to get.
Yeah.
Well, I've been saying all this, but I forget this came out, and I actually enjoyed this movie a lot. There's one of these. I've got kind of a crazy reviewer I watch. He's an actual Hollywood reviewer, not like one of the guys who gets, he gets in for free or nothing by Disney or something. But he's a kind of a recognized guy. But he was like, I did. He always, there's things that I know he's not going to like, and it's things I like. But that's just a difference in opinion. People are like that, but that you should have the right to not like something if you don't like it. You don't, because I like it, don't mean you have to like it. But there's some things I know he's not going to like, and that was one of them. And I liked the movie. I couldn't find any real reason to hate on it. It wasn't it wasn't PC or nothing like that. It's kind of a light rom com. It's mostly a action comedy, but it's a kind of there's a light romantic plot in there, and I liked it. It's a good movie. I do recommend that one.
Yes, I got it. I got the steelbook in the mail. I guess this week is when it came in. I still haven't watched it though.
Yeah. Well, what happened to Mike? I should have just left him alone.
He said, y'all don't like how I sound? I'm just leaving.
I think he's coming back in. Yeah. But everybody in chat, what movies? What's the last movie comedy you guys have seen that you liked? Now, I mean, that maybe not the best comedy. I'm actually that's kind of wild because I used to be like comedy was like my favorite thing. I lived for comedies, and that was like kind of early collecting. That's what I kind of focused on, that in television. And it's just I can't even think of probably a comedy that's came out
John,
in the
can you hear
last
me?
year. Yeah.
I got you,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah,
Is
you
it still
sound good
hot?
now.
Is it still hot?
No, you're good now.
Yeah, it's
I
better
think
now.
it'll be
Are you
good.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you were just like you were almost sounding like you were clipping a little bit. It was so loud before. It was kind of.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of garbled. Sound a little bit. It
Yeah, I was
sounds good
missing.
now. Yeah.
I was messing with the mic. I used it last week, and it did just fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's up with it now. So I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right. But I don't know if you saw the topic the other day on Instagram, but Kenny was wanting to do where have all the summer comedies gone,
hmm
and what's kind of your opinion on it? And can you remember? What's the last comedy that you've seen that you really enjoyed, as
Like
far as new releases within the past
movies,
couple of years?
just movies or TVs or TV shows.
Just let's just do movies and this.
Uh, Gosh, I don't know. Guys, I can't really think of a newer one, a newer comedy movie.
Yeah,
can't
that's
think of
pretty
one
bad.
right
That's what I just said. I thought
Yeah,
comedies were one of my favorite things growing up as a
yeah.
kid and in the early days of collecting. And I can't believe I can't think in the past 24 months really think of a comedy. I'm sure there is. Except for like what Kenny was mentioning there, the Jennifer Lawrence movie.
Oh
No
yeah.
hard feelings.
No
Yeah,
Hard
that was
Feelings, yeah.
that was the last one I remember even them like promoting really well.
Oh, I'm sorry. That one movie it came out just a couple months or like a month after that. It was pretty good with what's the name of it? It's the Asian girls. Sorry, I'm
Joyride.
sorry. Joyride. Yeah, that one was good as well. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. I don't know. They just don't seem like they do as many comedies anymore like they used to.
Right.
Kind of like died out
Right.
2010, maybe a little bit before or after that or something.
I seen on Hollywood Reporter yesterday when I was looking for stuff up for this. They have they're trying to do as Bette Midler called it, a menopause version of Bridesmaids.
What's
I
that?
swear to God, and it comes out tomorrow. And it has Bette Midler, Susan Sarandon, Megan Mullally, and oh darn it, I can't remember the other person's name. But it's like Bette Midler's getting married; she's 75 years old, and all the rest of them are her bridesmaids, and they go to Cancun or something like that, and like Susan Sarandon is like they're trying to copy off of that book club movie. Remember Diane
Yeah.
Keaton, the the trilogy they did with that, and it made actually
Mhm.
money. But it's called. But they were. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding you. They were calling it the Menopausal Bridesmaids.
Is it going to theaters?
Yes, opens tomorrow.
What the? I haven't seen a trailer for that.
I hadn't seen it either until I seen that, and I was like,
But it's gonna be shit like that. They put out comedies, then they don't promote them, and then when they don't make any money, as soon as see, comedies don't make any money. So
Has anybody mentioned Deadpool and Wolverine yet?
No, we haven't gotten into it really.
Because I usually laugh my ass off on the Deadpool movies. That comes out tomorrow, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it comes out tonight. I mean, tomorrow's the release date, but you can see it today, starting today.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna go at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Was as soon as I could find an IMAX with an open seat, because I waited way too long to buy tickets.
Yeah. My son got some last week, so he's going tomorrow. I'll probably catch it, a little bit down there. I want to go see it. I've seen the other ones in the theater, so I may go see it too. But he wants to go out with his friends and see it and stuff. So.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I've been hearing.
that's a huge thing.
I've been hearing great. I mean, it was already out. What Mexico already dropped it or something like that. So people have seen it, not just reviewers, but actual people, and everybody's liking it. I haven't heard. I've only heard one guy, and it wasn't even negative. He was just like, if you're still into Deadpool comedy, then you're gonna like it. But if you're sitting there thinking this is going to be something different other than your normal Deadpool comedy, basically saying Deadpool hasn't really grown up. He's not matured any.
Yeah, that's fine with me. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's why people go see Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I mean, part 2 was funny, and part 1, it's classic. I mean, I don't know. They're just they're funny. As long and action packed and everything else it was.
I've had to turn off my TikTok and cut my Instagram back a lot because people are already dropping spoilers.
Oh wow.
There's people on TikTok that are sitting there in the theater with their phones on showing cameos. I'm like, hell no, I'm out. I'm already pissed at Disney that they gave us that cameo in the last trailer that we did not need to know about.
Yeah. I try not to watch trailers to anything I'm interested in or anything.
Yeah, I hear it's got quite a few cameos in it. That's the only thing I know. I don't know any Pacific, so I haven't watched anything about it. Problem is I just can't go to the theater right now because of the post transplant and all that stuff. I'm going to have to wait till it's about to leave the theaters while nobody's going, or just wait for it to come out on physical media or something.
Yeah,
I have no doubt
sucks.
it's going to be on Disney Plus probably October or November.
Yeah, they're gonna milk Disney Plus for a good month before we get it on physical media. I bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm already getting the pre-order information for Horizon and the Planet of the Apes one on Amazon. They're already, pre-order them already. So.
Oh yeah.
You know what happened to me with Fall Guys? I pre-ordered it. I don't know. I pre-ordered a while back after I watched it on. I watched it through Amazon, I believe, and I pre-ordered it, and it said after I pre-ordered it's not coming out to December. It had this weird release date on it. And I was like, there's no way. But I thought, well, it'll change. So I knew it was coming out this week. So I looked, and it still was the same thing. It hadn't changed. So I had to go and reorder it. Monday, I reordered it and ended up getting it. Or I reordered Sunday or something. I got it Tuesday, but I had to reorder it, and that was still showing. I don't understand that. It was still showing release in December.
Mm-hmm. John, did you see the special edition from Walmart with the artwork and stuff? It looks really cool.
No, I just
they got a special steelbook that's coming out. It looks really cool.
I just picked
that's the one I got, but I haven't opened it yet. Still.
Yeah, I kind of like the artwork on that.
Yeah,
pretty
it's a really it gives like an old school movie poster look. I like it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. No, I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't. Let's see here. No, I didn't. I haven't been. Well, I mean, Walmart, they've been having some good deals on steelbooks, haven't they?
Mhm.
Even the 4Ks. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just been buying regular releases. What is the
Well,
worst and best comedy movies that you have ever seen?
Oh God.
yeah. Well, I picked up Cocaine Bear at Walmart today on a steelbook.
Yeah.
I like that steelbook. A lot of people was like, "What is up with this?" But I was like, I think it's awesome looking.
Oh, the yellow one.
Yeah,
I guess that's a comedy. It's come out the last couple of years. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. I haven't even watched it yet either. The movie period. I haven't seen
No.
it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. I didn't mind it too much. Some other people didn't like it too much, but I
Yeah.
liked
Yeah. I
it.
figure it's not like a Stone
I think
Cold
it was.
classic or anything. But
I don't think people judge some of the people that I listen to. I don't think they judge the movie. They judge Elizabeth Banks because she made that Charlie's Angels, that crappy Charlie's Angels movie,
yeah.
and I think she kind of learned her
Abomination.
lesson about that, and then she made that, and it wasn't anything.
Well, she
like
made the
the
Pitch
Charlie's
Perfect
Angels.
movies too. So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. People judged her.
yeah,
for
they made a
that
shitload
movie.
of money though.
Not for
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect. I'm talking about the Charlie's Angels.
Oh,
which
okay.
Flopped like flopped in the worst way. Flopped so bad that she's lucky she still has any kind of a career. But
Oh, I mean, that's one of those reboots right there. We did not need it.
Yeah.
There was zero reason for that. The casting, I thought the casting was awful,
Hmm.
but just the movie itself, we didn't need it.
yeah.
that's
Yeah, you know when the other ones came out and they first did that one, I was just like, a movie about a TV show. I mean, that was
Yeah.
early 2000, but that was pretty good, you know.
God, that's a hard question to answer. Best
It is a hard
comedy.
question. I'm trying to think. I wish I had my movies in front of me. Damn it.
I'll just put one out there as my best. I'm not saying it is the best, but it's one of my favorites. Is Monty Python, His Life of Brian.
Yeah,
That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite comedy.
that's a good
And
one.
worst, Jesus. I mean, the problem with worst is like there's so many, and there's so many that I probably don't know the name of because they're either like Mystery Science Theater kind of bad or just like something in general. It's like Blank Man. That's probably one of the worst.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
That one's bad. Yeah.
it was so
Is
bad.
it the worst though ever? I don't know.
That's hard for me though, 'cause especially when it comes to comedies, because there is that fine line of it's so bad it's fun, it's funny now. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
so you're either laughing your ass off because it's funny, then there's that middle point where I think they're asking, like, you're just sitting there like this isn't funny. But then there's that point where this isn't funny, but that's why it's funny, is because it's so damn bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And I find those a lot more than I find ones that I'm just sitting there going, this ain't funny.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many. I don't know if I could even pick one, but recently on Blu-ray I got the whole Austin Powers trilogy. Those were really just funny. I mean, back in the day, Austin Powers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they're still funny. I mean, pretty silly ass stuff, but it's funny.
See that, and that's one that I'm scared that they're eventually going to talk everybody into coming back and doing a fourth one, and we don't need it.
Yep.
Just let that
No.
trilogy stand.
Yeah, it won't be
It's
nothing like.
It's the same thing with that. I mean, it's off a little bit, but they announced a Shrek 5. Why do we don't need a Shrek 5,
Mm-mm.
And then a donkey movie.
and then a donkey movie and a show? I'm pretty sure the donkey's going to be like a 6-part something. Like
It's all the marketing. They can market
I know.
everything. They got it all planned out. Toys, everything.
Yeah.
You know. So
I'm just like,
And
we don't
I
need.
also heard they're doing a Broadway show on Shrek too.
yeah,
Ar-
I
around
thought
the
they had
same
already done one.
Oh, okay. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
I
Or
had
some
Yeah,
kind of.
I think the Broadway was already a thing.
Oh, okay.
It
I-
might
Or
be going
actually,
off, it might be going off Broadway and touring now, but
Yeah, I think it's some kind of touring thing. I'm not sure if it's a play or a musical thing or something. Because I think Opal had it recently. So.
Yeah,
I was. Go ahead.
No, to answer Sydney's question, the one that we had and the crowd went crazy for was Money Pit. When we seen the Money Pit in the theaters,
Oh
everybody was
yeah.
up and with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. People were like laughing hysterically in the aisles during that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's so
Bachelor
many
Party.
movies. I mean, another comedy I love is Caddyshack.
Yeah,
Funny.
Yeah.
44th anniversary today too.
Oh wow.
And I'd seen. Have you guys ever heard of what's his name now? I'm sorry. The Angry Video Game Nerd,
I've heard of them.
AVGN. He's been around since 2000, basically the beginning of YouTube. He's been around forever, and but he started another show where he did he did reviews with his friends, and he had kind of a fake video store set up.
Oh yeah. I
And-
liked when they talked about the movies and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I didn't know
But
that was the same guy.
one of his friends, they reviewed Caddyshack, and he was like a younger guy, and he was like, I didn't like that movie at all. I didn't think it was funny. Yeah. I guess when you get certain, I guess the millennials, and I guess I could kind of understand it. I mean, I can watch movies of comedy from the 30s and 40s and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I watch all these old television shows, old comedies, and I laugh. I can understand the comedy. So, I mean, it's not really an excuse, at least through my eyes, it isn't. But but I have a more heightened sense of, or a little more knowledge of comedies, though, too. Especially watching a lot of British comedy and things like that. So I enjoy comedy. You did dark comedies and different types of comedy. So I don't.
Well, I don't know why they're redoing Spaceballs. I mean, is one that's just,
I don't. A sequel to Spaceballs was needed maybe 5 years after the first one, but now it's just, what's the point?
Yeah, I think instead of doing Life Stinks, he should have done a sequel to Spaceballs. Mel Brooks. 'Cause Life Stinks is okay, but it's not up to the classics of his.
Yeah, that's a movie you can't find on video.
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
It came out several years ago. I think Kino. I have it on Kino. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's out of print now, though.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it might have been one that when I bought it, I might not have even known it had come out, and then I was like, I was able to find it. So it's crazy.
Yeah,
One of those crazy comedies like that.
I have it on Laserdisc. I don't have it on anything else though.
I had it on VHS when it came out. I got it at Suncoast Video.
Oh man, I love Suncoast.
That place was awesome.
Yeah, I remember getting UHF's another good comedy I really enjoy, which just came out on 4K, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I remember getting UHF there. I was living in Lexington at the time, and Lexington, Kentucky, if whoever's watching. And I think I can't remember if I pre-ordered it or I just knew it came out, but I went to Suncoast the day it came out, and I don't think I'd pre-ordered it because when I got there, I looked on the shelves and it wasn't on the shelves. So I asked the guy behind the counter. I said, "Did you guys get a copy of UHF?" And he seemed to begrudgingly hand me a copy from behind the shelf, like they were hiding it in case unless somebody asked for it, they were going to either buy it themselves but that's how I got it. I remember that day.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have very many copies or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird how I remember little things like that. But.
Well, you don't know what you ate yesterday, but you get to say what you watched in 1994. You know what I mean?
Not everything. There's some kind of feeling you get, or it's like the ambiance or the atmosphere of that particular moment or day that makes you remember. you remember that moment in time, and that's just I think everybody probably has that. I think I'm always been kind of sensitive to those things. That's the way I have. That's how my memory is triggered by things like that, little things like that. So
I remember
yeah.
waiting in line when Total Recall came out on VHS, and they had a lot. They literally had a lottery for like because they didn't know if they were going to get a lot of them or just like a select. And I was like number 9 in line. They came out with this like big standee, and it was like wrapped around the damn like wrapped around the building, you know. And you're like excusing yourself because it was a West Coast Video, and it was like the counters like all the way in the back, and you got people like in there like renting movies and stuff, and you see this like line going around the building, for a movie.
Oh,
Wow. It was crazy, and they had like just like a designated like cashier just for that. It had like a big standee, like a big thing that came from the top of the ceiling that said, "If you're buying Total Recall, hit here. Stand here." So it was $29.99 for a VHS of that.
Yeah.
I think the only time I did that for a VHS was Titanic for some reason. I didn't stand in line for it. I pre-ordered it, but there was a line for people picking up the pre-order. And when I got to, it was from Blockbuster. When I went to pick it up from Blockbuster, I'd pre-ordered for some reason the full frame version, and they handed me the letterbox, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take that." It wasn't any more expensive. It's just they give me the wrong thing, and I think it was one of those when I ordered it, I kind of second guessed myself by ordering a full frame versus the letterbox. And when I got there, I was like, "Yeah, I'll take that instead."
I remember when we got them in our store. I had worked at a Caldor, and we had gotten them Monday afternoon about 5:00, and like everybody was like, wanting to get them. We got like 5 boxes of them, and they were like letterboxed in full frame. And the store manager had to take them up to her office because people were wanting to buy them, and she even said to him, "They're not even in the system till tomorrow morning, so you won't be able to buy them anyway." Yeah. So it was like, and we had like so many people. They had the cops. They had the cops there. It was like Black Friday to get a VHS double VHS copy of Titanic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I remember
crazy.
I remember the double pack VHS you get to pick. And when DVD came out, and then they would do full frame on one side and widescreen on the other side. Like genius.
Yep.
I've heard a lot of these guys. We were talking about Heath earlier on Serial at Midnight, but he's one of those guys that just has so much damn trouble at a flipper disc, and I don't think I've ever had trouble at a flipper disc my whole life. Buying, and I've bought a lot. I have at one time. I'm sure he's got a lot more now because of the just nature of his channel and stuff. But we have a similar size collection, and I've never had trouble with flipper discs.
Nope, me
either. I don't know why, but I never have.
That sounds like a player problem.
Possibly. Are you muted, Mike? Yeah, you're muted.
Yep.
Sorry.
There you go.
My dogs was going nuts, so sorry about that. Was the guy talking about laser discs or DVDs when he's talking about flipper discs?
I was talking about. Oh, he was talking about DVDs. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't either. I've never had issues with them.
Yeah. Well, some people. It's not just Tim talking about it. I've heard other people talk about it, but I don't know. I've never personally had a problem with any of them.
I wonder if there's a problem with like trying to play a flipper DVD in a 4K player. I wonder if that's an issue. If the reader itself maybe is stronger or something. I wonder if that's the problem.
I doubt it. The 4K players might have multiple lasers in them. One to read like DVD and one have 4K. I don't know that for sure. It may just have a certain. It might just have a circuit in there that changes the frequency of the laser. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's
But
what it is.
yeah, I don't know how they work.
Yeah,
I would.
some of the DVDs I buy, they're flipper discs, and I have a 4K player. I don't have any problems with them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would think with Laserdisc back in the day, they could have developed this instead of developing the track system that
Mhm.
that would flip sides of the DVD automatically, which was just like
Yeah.
just like a moving carriage on a track. It would flip from the
Yeah.
top of the player to the other. You think they developed like a dual like laser system, like one on the top and one on the bottom? Surely it'd been cheaper to have two lasers.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's the way the disc lifts up and stuff. I understand there could be a issue there, but it seemed like it'd been cheaper to develop just a dual laser than a than a whole carriage unit that's a mechanical system that's probably going to break. And
Mm.
and what's crazy is they don't break very often. You know,
Well,
that's what's impressive about them. They don't break, but
yeah.
but
Well, I
it's
wonder.
definitely
Well, John, I wonder on the later models where they were DVD and Laserdisc combos. I wonder if they had different laser setups or something.
I guess I have one over here, but I don't. I've never had to open it up and work on
Yeah,
it.
I've never opened one of those before. The other ones, had, and so it's got that track system. It's kind of cool though. So technically, it doesn't flip. It just, what I mean. But it's pretty cool though.
Yeah. Technology. Yeah, I kind of wish I would have been. Imagine what they could do now. I was thinking, what if they made like Laserdisc size, like Blu-rays and 4Ks, and just put a bunch of movies on one disc, but still have
the same
like
quality.
a record. And have like, I don't know. It
it's
would
all the
hold
space. Yeah, the space. Stuff.
It would hold so much that it would. I mean, you could have a completely uncompressed 4K or a 6K or something, or you could have like just a bunch of movies on one, but it wouldn't serve much of a purpose.
Yeah, you can put like a whole 20 season TV show set on one disc or something. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It don't make much sense, but to do it, but it would be interesting.
I wonder if they have tried that though, because you're right. I mean, if they could, they could hold a lot on something that size.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it can be done. I'm sure you can make that size of a disc with the same technology, but I guess it's just not economically feasible.
Yeah. Probably the players would be really expensive for something like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I might Google that or something. Maybe somebody's done that, talked about it or something.
The craziest technology was that the vinyl base. What's that called? What was the other technology? It was a vinyl based movie system. It came in those. They came in those white sleeves. What is that called?
Was that CED?
Disco Vision or something? No,
or CEDs. Is that the one with the needle on it? Right?
Yeah.
CEDs. Yeah, it was like a record player.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never had one of those or seen anybody that had ones.
Yeah, I've seen them because they show up like in half price books all the time. But I've seen people play them. I don't know if we lost Jody or what, but I've seen people play them. But everybody that always buys them and plays them, one of the discs completely disintegrates. That was the problem. They would like spin themselves apart. I think that even happened when they were new.
Yeah, I think there's even a collectors group on Facebook. Just that. So I don't know. There's fans of them out there, but I don't.
Yeah. There's fans of all kinds of crap.
I know. It's probably an 8-track group and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of make fun of people that like. I don't make fun of them. I don't make fun of them. I'm just not a big fan of VHS myself. Growing up with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it became very niche, didn't it? Like it's kind of a hipster thing to have VHSs all of a sudden,
see, the thing is I like vinyl and I like analog stuff, but the problem is you don't. It's like listening to a vinyl record or listening to a reel to reel analog. You get hi-fi, and you get a good warm hi-fi, but watching a movie, it's not the same thing. You might get decent audio. You don't even really get decent audio with a VHS tape, and you get like less than great. You get like 240p resolution. It's like there's nothing good about it. It's not like listening. It's not the same as listening to a record, like a vinyl record, or because audio tapes were the same way we got back in the 80s. It just wasn't, that quality was not good. That type of tape quality is not as it's lower grade tape is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, like when Star Wars came out in the 80s, they had like hi-fi. If you had an actual like hi-fi VHS player to get like the true stereo type sound, that was kind of cool. But not everything was in hi-fi, true hi-fi.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I think that was on a lot of CBS Fox stuff. 20th Century Fox movies and stuff.
Yes. Sorry, Sydney. We got kind of talking about a bunch of stuff. I prefer watching in a theater, but there's advantages to watching them at home too. You can take a bathroom break if you have to, and don't have to worry about missing in movies. Yeah,
have a good seat. And all that good stuff.
I prefer home.
Yeah, because you can come to the theater in your underwear that way.
Doesn't matter how you look, or and plus the price of concessions and everything now, and because I was just thinking, it's like how much how much is the movies now to go to the movies, especially
Probably.
like if you're paying an IMAX, like what, $30?
IMAX is like, depending on the one I got Deadpool tickets to, I think they were like 20 something each. But the one at the big giant IMAX that's at the mall here, I think they're up to like 30 something a ticket.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, it's like if you wait a couple months, you get the 4K, watch it at home, and it'll cost you $29.99, $29.95, and that way you have it forever. This is only a memory.
Yeah, I've been very selective about what I go to the theater and see. It's got to be something like I'm going to see Deadpool. Probably the next movie that I'll see in theater is probably going to be like Joker 2. But
just the big stuff, the good stuff,
I mean, it's just stuff that I like, that I really want, that, especially if it's going to be on IMAX, and if it was filmed for IMAX, I'll do that. But like my local theater, the one that's 5 minutes away from my house, they've got like they have 2 good sized theaters, and the rest of them are smaller. Well, there are 2 good sized theaters where all the new movies go. I don't know who's in charge of their projectors, but anytime it's a dark scene, you can barely see anything. So it's like, they don't even care. Why am I going to drop theater price tickets when y'all can't even get your projector dialed in right? So
yeah. Well, see, anybody can do that now. Like back in the day, you had to know what you were doing when you were dealing with film and stuff. So there was good projectionists out there and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there were bad ones too, but most people had to know what to do. Now they just put a disc in pretty much, or whatever, how digital is now and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, even going to the theaters, I mean, I used to go. I mean, I guess all of us have been in that time of our life, especially in the late '90s, early 2000s. I would go see maybe sometimes 2 movies a week or more back in the day. I used to see movies all the time, and now even because what I was going to say is you can get those deals through like Cinemark and the different whatever theaters in your area. They usually have like a like a monthly movie pass system
Yeah.
where you can like pay for it, but there's not enough stuff coming out to justify wanting to buy that.
Yeah,
It might be,
you have to
Yeah.
use it for like rewatching or something.
yeah, and that's a shame. I think the whole goal to everything is putting the theaters out of business. I felt like this for the last 4 or 5 years, especially since the beginning of the pandemic. I thought, well, this is going to be the beginning of the end for the theaters because it was already struggling. They were already
Yeah.
beginning to struggle, and then on top you're putting out crappy movies. I mean, it's like a coordinated effort or something. It's so bizarre.
Well, I mean, the prime time that years that you were talking about,
Yeah.
that's when if you wanted to see a movie and know what it was about, if there was a big surprise or whatever, you had to go to the theater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, some movies is theater streaming same day.
Yeah.
So they're not giving you a reason to go to the theater anymore. I mean, think about freaking, Infinity War Endgame. If you knew that you had to go to the theater, but people wanted to see that because, you want that on a big screen.
Yeah.
But, it's a mix. We're not getting original ideas. And if you think, oh, that kind of sounds cool, well, then immediately afterwards you think, I'll just wait a couple of days and it'll probably be on freaking Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I already paid monthly for that. So why go drop another $20, $30, $40 at the theater?
Mhm.
So they've taken away, and there's not. I mean, I think the theater's already lost. Like the theater should have stood up a long time ago, and like, if you guys are just going to put this on your streaming service, we're not going to carry it. So
Yeah.
And if they would stand up and do that, then I think they might start rethinking because, I mean, they're not making shit on their streaming services.
Yeah. But they
And
would
all
probably
the streaming
push the.
serve.
Oh, sorry, Kenny. I was going to say
No,
they
I'm-
would probably push around the theaters and be like, "Well, you don't carry the movies and blah blah." And,
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there's somebody's
so-
going to have to stand up. A few of them are going to go under while everybody else is standing up. It's going to be a shit show. But if it's either going to be that or the theater's just going to they're all just going to cave one after another, or Disney will buy out all of them and you'll have Disney theaters. They'll save the day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like completely destroying everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're starting to see a little bit. Maybe they're starting to straighten up some of all the comic book movies. They're starting to kind of slow that down just a little bit because there's so many was coming out at once about a couple years ago. And everything's
Well, they
or with trying to have like Disney trying to have their shows, exclusive shows, and then movies too in theaters.
Yeah.
It's like so much was going on.
Well, they diluted their product, and making and just making like off-brand, people that nobody cares about.
Yeah. If they could keep it 2 big Disney shows a year and then 2 big movies a year, I think they could make a lot of money. If they actually sat down and spaced it out, like, here's your Deadpool for January through March, and then April, boom, a movie that you might actually want to have watched Deadpool to kind of get what's going on. It's just like with this Deadpool movie. If you haven't watched Loki, you're not going to really know what's going on.
Oh, really?
I don't care what they say. There's probably going to be a good 5 to 10 minute explanation, but if you haven't watched Loki, you're not going to know what's going on. And in the beginning of Disney Plus, Feige even said, "Yeah, we're going to have shows, but don't worry, you don't have to watch the shows to watch the movie." Well, you saw that with WandaVision. If you didn't watch WandaVision, you really didn't grasp what was going on in Doctor Strange.
I know my nieces had to explain to me because I didn't watch WandaVision.
Yeah,
and I had no idea
did.
Who the hell these characters were.
Yeah, and then they did the same thing with Miss Marvel. I never watched Miss Marvel, and I've still never watched the Marvels because I don't want to sit down and watch Miss Marvel. I just don't want to do it. It looks awful, and I've heard awful things about it. So why waste my time? So they did the exact thing that they said they weren't going to do, and then they pumped out so much at one time within the span of like 2 years.
Yeah.
They just need to. If it's just like I say, if they would just do 2 big show events and then in between 2 big movie events, I think they would make so much money. They'd have people signing back up for Disney Plus. They just need to space it out and just take their time, just like they did with the Infinity Saga. Just take your time.
Yeah. Well, it's like what Disney could also do is make something exclusive to the theaters to just kind of get that, their theater stuff going again and make it exclusive, something everybody wants to see, and take some gambles and some chances again. That's what Hollywood's always done.
Yeah.
But they're going to focus on streaming and stuff. Just put theater third on the list of stuff, and it's they're just screwing themselves really. And us, the fans, the consumers.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go out on that big rampage I just went on because they're wrapping up football here. So
Okay.
Well, have a good
I
night.
hate cutting this short on football nights, but hopefully next week I'll be at home and I can actually, when somebody asks a movie question, I can turn around and answer it because I'll have it behind me.
Well, what will your schedule be after school starts? With football, that'll be probably for weekends or something like that.
I think like last week and this week, it's every day they're practicing. I think starting next week, it goes down to 3 days a week, but Thursday is still one of them. So it's all just going to depend on who wants to bring him out here, either me or my wife. But then if I'm at home,
I'm not worried about that. I don't mind. This is fine the way you did it now. But I'm not. It's not a big deal. I'm just wondering, like during the year, when do they play? What days do they play games on?
Friday nights.
Oh, with the games, all their games here are on Saturday. Well, most of Saturday. There might be a Sunday on here, but this is still just this isn't through school. This is through like the county.
Like a
so
little Giants type thing.
Yeah.
So you having fun?
Oh, he always. This is like his 3rd year doing it. He's having a blast.
Good. As long as he has a good time and it's not, something, that he doesn't like. That's the most important thing.
He's already telling everybody he's going to be in the NFL. So I haven't broken that dream yet, but I'm sure it will come eventually. It's like, I don't think you understand how the NFL works.
You never know.
You never know.
Is he going to be a big kid or?
He might. He's short, but he's stout and fast. That's why all these coaches like him because
I can't tell how tall you are. I can't tell how tall you look tall, but
I'm sick. He has not hit a growth spurt yet, but like I said, the coaches love it because you give the little guy the ball, he sneaks past everybody and just flies on.
Can be like
you get him the
Christian
ball, he'll take off. Yeah.
Well, that's where my son was. He's 6'2" and like 250 or something like that. And I'm only like 5'9", so he's huge. But he never took to football though. Football was never his thing, but he would be perfect for football. He's a big old dude, But
my other 2 sons are tall and skinny, and they would never do basketball the same. I was like, dude, can we just please pick a sport inside with air conditioning? Let's do that. But no, we had football and baseball. Like, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
But cool. I'm gonna hop off, guys. It was fun. Hopefully I'll be able to stick around longer.
Take care, my friend. Have a good week.
Yep. See you.
All right, y'all. We'll see you.
No problem.
Awesome.
Mike, I picked up that. I haven't watched it yet, but I picked up that Risky Business 4K.
Oh yeah.
4K.
Yeah, I thought about that, but then I don't know. I may get that later. I should have got it during the sale, but I didn't get out to the stores. I just this time.
Yeah, hopefully Jody will be with us longer next week.
Sorry, Angel.
Yeah, his son's got football practice. for a while, so gotta have his parenting duties there. That's what I respect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to film some videos and stuff. Everything I've been shown has been filmed before surgery and stuff
Yeah.
for me. So it's like I'm behind. I've got to do some editing, do some stuff.
I still
not-
haven't.
Yeah, I've
I
been
still
watching
haven't
so
filmed
much
any
stuff.
videos.
Yeah, I got like a huge tote full of stuff I need to make videos on. It's just been months and months in the making. So.
What have you
Yeah,
watched,
I
Mike?
still. I'll go.
Oh, what have I watched? Well, I've been watching a lot of Chuck Norris videos.
Oh, okay.
I kind of started getting into the old TV show Gunsmoke and like the Rifleman and stuff like that. I've been watching that a lot. And,
Oh, okay.
but just everything, man. All kinds of videos. A lot of westerns. Some
Yeah,
Charles
do you have
Bronson.
Max, Mike?
Yeah, HBO
Okay,
Max.
there's a show on there with Bill Pullman. Um, what is it called again, John? That I told you, it was like the Legend of Buster James or
Oh,
something.
Oh, Scruggs? Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, I actually have a copy of that.
Oh, you do? Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that was available. I thought it was
Yeah,
very good.
it's like a Chinese bootleg, but man,
Oh,
it is in really it's good. It's like great image and sound, and the packaging is kind of cool, but it's pretty much bootleg.
Yeah, I watched that today, and I was telling John because I was teasing him, and he goes, "Don't you know me by now?" About the westerns, because I
Yeah.
said to him, I said, "I don't know if you like westerns or not." He goes, "Don't you know me by now?" I'm like, "Dude, I was being facetious."
Well, I mean, I like westerns, but Mike really likes westerns. He knows a heck of a lot more than I
Well,
do.
I don't know. I kind of got into them and just I don't know. I'm really into westerns nowadays,
There's
but
there's
but,
so many of them. You know, it's like film
there's
noir. It's like it's
Yeah.
like
so many decades and stuff of films
Yeah.
and stuff. But
Yeah.
no, Buster Scruggs is pretty good. It's kind of like an anthology series. I didn't think it was going to be an anthology.
Oh, okay, I didn't
is
know.
that the
It's-
one the Coen brothers did?
Yeah, Coen
Yeah.
Brothers did for I guess Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, and I missed it when it was on Netflix, and I thought it was going to be about the guy, the what's his face guy, like all through the movie, but it was actually an anthology series, and I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think we're talking
it was
about
good.
different one.
Oh yeah, Bill Pullman is in a western too.
Yeah,
What's it called?
that's what I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, there was a one called Old Henry that was pretty good too, a newer one.
It's called The Ballad of Lefty Brown.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's I didn't know it was from 2017. Wow. Okay.
yeah, that one's pretty good too. Yeah,
Yeah,
liked it.
I really enjoyed that one. It was really good. And Pullman plays sort of like a different character too. He plays like sort of like a slow cowboy. Like, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
they don't want to use the retard kind of
Yeah,
thing, kind of.
Yeah.
But
Playing kind of an old.
he's challenged.
yeah, that's a very good. He's challenged.
He has
And,
challenging options stuff.
Yeah, and
that's
his best friend gets killed. So I really enjoyed it. That was like one that I had just seen. I just got done watching. I was telling John I watched. My friend loaned me Civil War, the movie Civil War,
Mhm.
and I watched that. That was really good. Like, recommend that one.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering
Yeah,
about
that's a
that
good
one.
one.
Yeah, I was
it
wondering
is
about that.
really good.
Yeah.
You watch
Nope.
that and you can see like shit happening today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I figured it was something like that, like kind of
What's up,
like a
Jim?
apocalyptic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And Kirsten Dunst was really, really good in that movie.
He's really good.
Hey, Jim.
I think I'm doing all right.
Hey, Jim.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. Hanging in there.
far as TV stuff, that's probably the most. I've just had where I've been fooling with that game channel stuff. I hadn't watched a whole lot this week, but at night, when I go into bed, I always watch TV stuff. And I started watching My Name Is Earl again. I watch that that's something I watch almost annually.
Mhm.
And but I've been watching Carol Burnett and not Brunette, Burnett. I do that every time I say her name. I call her Carol Burnett.
Brunette. Yeah.
And I've also been watching his mom. Where I was watching that, I ended up buying the Mama's Family
Mhm.
set. Watching
Oh.
that,
I watched that all the time when I was a kid.
yeah, it's one of those I always wanted to watch as a kid, but I just kind of didn't know when it was on. I guess I don't know.
I think it was in like syndication back in the
Yeah.
day. It seemed like it was
Yeah.
on different channels and stuff.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the first year it was on NBC because it was on Saturday nights, and then it got canceled. There's a video on that about Mama's Family, the whole thing with Mama's Family, and her husband was the producer of the show, Vicki Lawrence, and
No, it was Carol Burnett's husband was the producer.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
I thought it was Vicki Lawrence.
no, yeah, because that's why Carol Burnett left after the second season because they got a divorce.
Mhm.
That's why she didn't appear on the show after the second season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it got
I
canceled,
mean,
and
Vicki Lawrence her husband might have been a producer as well, but I know for sure that Carol Burnett's husband was definitely a producer, and that's why she doesn't show up after season 2.
yeah, it was something like that. I think I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about, Kenny. There was like
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a documentary or some kind of something. I saw that too, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it got canceled, and then it got picked up. Like they started doing new episodes just for syndication or something.
Yeah, because they had just whoever's husband grabbed onto, because that's when places were starting to do first run syndication,
Mm-hmm.
and they were guaranteeing like so many spaces instead of like one slot. You could do like you're in like Iowa, you get like the 7:30 slot, or Philadelphia, you got the 7 o'clock. So they were getting it, and it just became like really like super popular again because they had like a machine behind it. Whereas when
Yeah.
it was on NBC, they just basically said it was a takeoff of the Carol Burnett skit.
Yeah.
Where
I wonder with other shows that didn't last very long if they could have went that same route if that show would have took off. Like some of those
yeah.
shows that was
Yeah.
pretty good, but they just didn't last very long.
Yeah.
If that would have happened.
How many seasons is that? Is it 5 or 6? It's like 6 seasons or something. Isn't it? I have
believe
it.
so.
But I forget how
Yeah.
many seasons it is.
Yeah, it's like a handful of seasons. Yeah.
I think Harvey Korman's character is always, I don't know what it is. He was good on Carol Burnett. That character is good on Carol Burnett and on Mama's Family. The husband of
Earl.
Carol Burnett's character. Yeah, Earl. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching
And,
something about the on the Vice channel. There's the Dark Side of the '90s series.
Yes.
And one of them was on Arsenio Hall.
I just got done watching that, Mike.
Really?
Oh
yeah.
my God, it's funny you said that.
And he did the same thing. He did that too, where he syndicated it instead of just staying on Fox only. Like the second season or something, syndicated, and the show got really big, but it wasn't on very long. It was only on like 3 years or something.
Ew, no, it was on for 5 years.
Yeah.
But like as you've seen in the, I stopped watching it when they brought Farrakhan on, and apparently that's as you've seen by that old producer that went to Leno.
Mhm.
Right after that, he called
Yeah,
while he was doing it, and it was like, because I even said to my buddy, I said he just committed suicide on the air.
Mhm. Yeah, he definitely did. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. That part, and
Yeah.
it's done. That's the end of the host documentary too. You know?
Jim was talking about Police Squad being, he said it's a huge flop TV and they turned it into the Naked Gun movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I talked about it on air, but I was telling Kenny about it. A guy's video I watched. I wish I would have sent it to everybody. It's really, it doesn't make me think down upon the Zuckers or Abrams or anybody like that, but I think David Zucker was very upfront about some of the things about just straight up copying things,
Mm-hmm.
and he would just steal stuff outright, and like how like a lot of those early ideas. I mean, Police Squad's like a rip off of Get Smart in a whole lot of ways, and there's some examples that are just like in the guy. See, this is the thing. It's like you can go on a web page and somebody can tell you a bunch of shit and it could just be a bunch of lies. But the good reporters or the good video journalists, they'll have the proof to back it up. And this guy had side by side scenes from, it'd be the scene from like a television show and a scene from like the Naked Gun movies, and it would be the same joke almost set up the same way. It was crazy. It was crazy. And like for the Naked Gun specifically, there was a television show. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of it, but there was a television show that came out like a year before Naked Gun came out, and a lot of the jokes are like lifted from that television show. And David Zucker's like talks about in an interview the guy has on there. He played the interview of David Zucker saying, "Yeah, we used to," or maybe I don't know if it's a tape or it's just a quote from like a magazine or something. But he said, yeah, when we were writing, we would put reels of like television shows. We'd play tapes of television shows in the background while we were writing stuff. I mean, it was nuts. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, he has said that because I was watching they do an interview on special features on the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Sledgehammer. Yeah, that was
on that Blu-ray, and it's about an hour long, and it's both brothers, and they did talk about that they did used to just steal a lot of stuff from a lot of things, and they were guilty as charged, and they were just kind of joking about it and stuff. So it's a pretty good interview with them.
Oh yeah, and that's another. And Jim actually pointed out that's another reboot they're doing with Liam Neeson.
Oh,
could be interesting. I don't know. No, I'm sorry, Naked Gun. But Sledgehammer was the show I was talking about. Yeah, thanks for. I wonder if, but it don't really make me think down upon them because that, especially in comedy, I don't think it's quite like stealing a joke, but it kind of is. But I don't know how to really feel about it. I like those movies, like Kentucky Fried Movie and Airplane and Naked Gun. I like those movies so much. It's almost one of those things I can look past, a little bit, because maybe they took that idea and perfected it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like through history, someone maybe took it, but they've made it better, than polished it a little bit more or something. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. It's like Tarantino. People talk about it, like he just rips off plots and stuff from other movies, but maybe he makes it better or brings it to people's attention, the old stuff.
Yeah, I love Top Secret.
Yeah, Top Secret's always underrated. I think it's really funny.
Yeah, I love is it the opening? It's pretty close to the opening scene where he does that. It's like a music video for. It's like surfing. What is it? Surfing.
Yeah, something with machine guns or something. Or
it reminds me of like Surf Nazis from something
like that.
But it's not Surf Nazis because that Surf Nazis from what's the name of that?
Must Die.
Trauma.
Surf
Nazis Must Die. The Trauma movie. Yeah.
That's funny because when I first went into video stores when I was a little kid, I would see the box of Top Secret. And it would just have that cow with boots on.
Yeah.
It was like a yellow box, and I would always see that. And I didn't see the movie till years later and stuff. That's funny.
But here's an interesting. But here's an interesting thing, Jim, about Kentucky Fried Movie. See, they were doing. It was called Kentucky. They were doing a live show of it. It was called Kentucky Fried Theater or Kentucky Fried. or something like that. But that's how the idea for the movie came along, and they claimed that the idea for Saturday Night Live was kind of ripped off from them for the Kentucky Fried movie. Saturday Night Live was ripped off. It was Kentucky Fried movie got ripped off for Saturday Night Live. Sorry, I got tongue tied there. For a second.
They did.
Lauren Michaels seen their play or what and
yeah, that was a similar. I think they had one called the Kentucky Fried Theater or something like that. And it was like an improv group too or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, skeet surfing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jim was talking about the Catholic high school girls in trouble from Kentucky Fried Movie. Yeah, they would not make that today. They wouldn't do a remake of that today.
Yeah, it's got those. What was like the kind of the wimpy guy? He's with that hot girl, and I guess he can't satisfy her, so the big Jim sledge breaks through the wall.
Yeah, it was the scene with all in the shower with all the I remember that one, all the buxom beauties in the movie in that part. Yeah.
I believe me, I'm aware of the lineage of Kentucky Fried Theater. I'm from the Midwest, and they actually started with them. Oh, okay, excellent. No, I'm not questioning it. It's just it's cool when people know some of those facts. Like I don't know everything about all the movies. I'm pretty dumb when it comes to things sometimes. But there's the things I really like, I'll usually know a lot about. And I've always been a Zucker. Always been David Zucker. I liked that movie they did. Well, I like Basketball. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fairly original movie. And they also did, what's the gambling movie they did? It's the big, it's like a car chase, or it's like the kind of cross country, like Mad World type of movie they did.
$1
million movie?
No, it's a Rat Race.
Rat Race. Yeah.
It had like, and it had I think it had like Rowan Atkinson was in it. It had a bunch of celebrities like John Cleese was in it, and I can't even remember all of them. There was a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I think it is kind of a ripoff of not the movie. That concept is kind of a ripoff of, like, it's kind of a I guess a Mad World. It's really the best way to say it's a ripoff of. But
yeah, pretty much.
Cannonball Run type thing, But,
yeah, kind of like
but it has some funny.
It's a Mad World or whatever.
It has some funny things because it kind of rips off that concept that's going on in Caddyshack, where they're just betting on anything. The guys, they get bored of betting on the normal stuff, so they start trying to bet on somebody if they're going to pick their nose or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I always like that movie because it's got a pretty good cast, just like Mad World. Really some really good comedic actors of the era.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a bunch of people in it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. I don't know. What did y'all think about the hot? What was it?
Me too.
What was the one? The hot
Shots.
Hot Shots. Yeah. Hot Shots.
I enjoyed those movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hot Shots Part 2. Yeah. Both of those were good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Jim,
I don't think I've seen Scavenger Hunt.
Oh, Scavenger Hunt was really fun.
Who made that?
I think it was I think it came out in I want to say 78, because I think that's I might be confused, because they had Scavenger Hunt and then they had Midnight Madness, which that was Michael J. Fox's first movie with David Naughton, and but Scavenger Hunt I think had Roddy McDowall in it. And I remember watching that. That was another big rental in the early 80s to go to the video store to rent, because it was on CBS. I'm almost positive that was on CBS for like the Sunday night movie or something, like during the summer. But Scavenger Hunt was a funny movie.
You know, I was going to say the Zucker brothers did those scary movie parodies too.
Well,
Scary Pop. They worked on they worked on a couple of them.
that
Three,
was the only
four, and
problem with
five.
like I guess starting probably in the early 2000s when they started this, when they weren't involved with that stuff, you know, they weren't involved with making the parody movies,
Yeah.
and they just started making like really bad ones, like the teen movie. They all had movie at the end of them, teen movie
Mhm.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, they haven't really done anything unless they've done some stuff, streaming or some, stuff like that. But I haven't seen them do much of anything in a while.
Yeah, I saw a guy that he made a video about like there was like 3 Leslie Nielsen movies that he made like after, I guess after Dracula Dead and loving it and stuff like that, but they were like more kind of the the spoof movies like
Yeah.
that, and they're just horrible. Like one of them was like it was made finance. I think it was made in Canada, but it's financed by I can't remember. It was
Take care,
foreignly.
Jim.
It was like foreign financed or something, but it was just freaking terrible.
Yeah, that's right, Jim.
Ken
Yeah.
and Ivory Wayne was responsible for the
first two.
first 2. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Yeah. See you, Jim.
We need to have him on the show, actually. We should
That would
have
be
him
good.
on. Yeah.
Invite him for
I think
next
we
week.
talked about it last week, and I just forgot all about it. Yeah, he would be a good guest.
Yeah. Have him and
Permanent
Mr. Dan on at the same time. We'd have all kinds
Yeah.
of facts
Oh,
flying around everywhere.
Yeah, Mr. Dan, he kind of semi-permanent person. He just can't do it every week.
Yeah.
There's 3 people's videos that I go to like all the time. Yours, Mike, because I learn like a lot about it. Stuart and Mr. Dan. Stuart George, if you go to his, and Mr. Dan, because Mr. Dan's taught me, because I didn't know like a lot about like the kung fu stuff, the kung fu theater he does, and
Yeah.
and he's got me interested in the Hammer horror. He got me interested in the Hammer horror movies. So, because I think you did a video on that too, Mike, didn't you? On the Hammer horror movies.
On Hammer, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like I was telling John, I write these. I have a book beside me. I write these movies down, and I try to like define them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do. I usually do that too.
Yeah, I have a bunch of the Hammer movies.
Yeah.
On Hammer did noir movies too, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, they did all kinds
And
of stuff.
sci-fi. They did some really good sci-fi too.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They did like
Yeah.
a really God, what's that? They did like one that's kind of almost. It's almost a horror sci-fi, but it's like a real scary one. What's that?
The Quatermass movies.
Yeah, the
Right?
Quatermass
yes.
Experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there
Yeah,
was
that's
like
a good
3
one.
of them total. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But yeah, they did a bunch of
Yep.
stuff, and I need to do like a part 2 to that because I've got a bunch of new ones since I did that video.
Yeah.
It's a couple years old.
What's
now.
your favorite so far, Kenny, as far as the Hammer horror? Because I kept seeing them all. I've just seen what I have pretty much. And
There was one. I know. I don't know the name of it offhand. It was a Christopher Lee movie, a Dracula movie that I really really enjoyed. The problem with them is like once you write a whole bunch of them down, they just kind of go in, kind of stream into each other because they're only
Yeah.
like an hour and 20 minutes,
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. And like when you watch a bunch of them, you kind of like I literally have to sit and do my review on my letterbox thing before I get into another one because some of the plots are basically the same thing, especially with the Dracula ones. You know what I mean?
Dracula. Yeah.
So it's like they
Is
kind of like all stream in together, like a kind of like a consciousness.
it's not the one where like there's like I think it's like there's like a women's. It's like not a women's. I don't know if it's like a convent or it's like some kind of
Oh, I seen
place
that
where
one too.
women,
Yeah.
but it's like, he's like coming and like basically taking women from here to make into his harem, and they have to stop him. And
Yeah, and
like
the
I think
Oh
they,
yeah,
happens in a
Yeah.
cave or something like that.
yeah, it's
I,
like it's,
see, I've seen
yeah,
that once, but that kind of, like Kenny said, it all kind of blurs together sometimes. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh man, what is
Yeah.
that? I know I've seen it.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of what it is.
Yeah, because Mr. Dan had one, I guess a couple months ago on his channel, and it was called Billy the Kid versus Dracula.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a bunch of bullshit. There's not a movie called that. And he had picked it up on, I think, Kino sale or something like that. And I watched it on Tubi. I was laughing my ass off at this movie. It was
Yeah.
so hysterical, but I liked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's a classic B movie, like drive-in movie and stuff.
Oh, is it? I had
Like
never
that.
heard of it until I seen it on Mr. Dan's channel, and I
Yeah.
was like, because Mr. Dan likes to have fun, on his, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's pulling our leg on this. And when I looked it up, it was on Tubi, and I watched it, and then Svengoolie did it on his channel too, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, I've been getting into watching him too every week. What does it come on, like Fridays or something?
Saturdays. See, when I had cable, I have YouTube TV, and we don't get Me TV. So I'm thinking about getting the Me TV because they have a new channel called Me TV Tunes, where they
Yeah.
have the classic cartoons.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been raving how good that channel is.
Yeah, me too. I just recently got the whole package, and that's where I've been watching like all the Gunsmokes, and it's got the cartoon channel, and it's got all the classic TV shows, like whole tons of different ones,
Yeah.
And I think it's like $6 something a month or something.
Yeah,
but,
$6.99 or something.
yeah,
But I'm kind of leery because this is the last Thursday without football, so I'll be watching football, like taping it, like while we're doing this, and watching it, and then like Sundays turn into like Mondays because there's like 3 nights of football on. You got Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. So it's like, but I still have time for the movie stuff.
Yeah, I think with that channel, if you get the top package, you can actually it has you can record stuff. It has a cloud.
Really?
Yeah, so you can set up timers, or you can, I don't know, record the whole thing. And I don't know, but I got the basic one. But
Oh, okay.
I think
See,
it's only
there-
like 7 or something, 7 or 8, possibly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was, because there was like 3 of them that were, it was friendly. I've been wanting, because I love IFC movies, so I was thinking about getting AMC Plus, because with that you get Shudder, the IFC channel, their Sundance channel, and there was like 4 other one. Oh, what is it? The Walking Dead channels or something like that. I'm not too much on that, but I like my IFC ones. So if there's like a lot of the IFCs, if you can't buy, they're not on any streaming services.
Yeah,
Except for the
the friendly package has the Vice channel on there.
Oh,
Vice.
really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's got the Hallmark channel, and it's got like the Vice channel. It's got all these other. It's a whole lot of junk, man. It's a whole bunch. I think it's worth it.
But what is Ice Channel like? What is that like?
No, the Vice
Immigration,
channel.
some movies. Oh, I'm just joking.
Oh yeah.
No, Vice is basically a documentary channel. Like they
Yeah,
had
kind
like actually, it's funny that you talked about that, Mike, because I watched it today. It was Vice has a YouTube channel, and they had I had just got done watching Dark Side. I'm a big wrestling fan. They had Dark Side of the Wrestling one with
that was a good series.
Yeah, it's such a good series. So the next one up on the YouTube came Dark Side of the 90s, and they do Saturday Night. They're doing Saturday Night Live. Oh God, I can't remember. They did Arsenio. They were
There's
doing
also Dark Side of Comedy too, and they did a lot
really
of people like about Roseanne and about
Robin
Andrew
Williams.
Dice Clay, people like that, Chris Farley and stuff. It's pretty good. Pretty interesting.
I love Dice. Nobody can say anything bad about Dice. I love Dice.
Do you
So
know
fun.
Robin Williams? I don't like getting political, and this isn't political, but have you ever seen his? This is from like 10 years ago. It's like before he died. It's like 2014 or something like that. When did he? I can't remember what year he died, but
I don't really.
this was a little before he died. He did a bit about Joe Biden, and he was talking about Joe Biden in 2014 about how they called him rambling Joe Biden. It was all basically, which I knew from 2020 that he had mental problems. This wasn't something I knew he had it before he even become president. That's what, but. He was taught. This is him doing a bit on stage about it in 2014 about him. He said, he was like, rambling Joe Biden, talking about he was, is basically talking about him like he had a mental issues then. It's crazy. I mean, we know he's had like 3 strokes or something in the past several years, and not during the presidency, but like before then. It's just that's all I want to say about it. But it's just, since I was thinking about Robin Williams, it's a crazy thing. It's just
that's weird. All that,
Yeah.
I guess they were picking up on some stuff back then. I guess I never noticed it much. Back in the day.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny on that Arsenio that they talked so much about like the Clinton thing, because that was so huge.
Yeah, like when he came on there and played the saxophone, it was like he pretty much he had it in the bag, pretty much he was campaigning.
Yeah, but they didn't see. I wish they would have went into it. They should probably do that whole thing, because that's when MTV was doing the Rock the Vote that year, old Bush, Bush Senior, refused to go on the MTV, and Clinton was like, "Hey, let's do a public forum," and he brought him and Hillary were there on a public forum talking about it, and it was just like right then it was like that's when he won. It was like that's when he won as soon as when he went on Arsenio, because like they said, he sealed up the black vote, he sealed up the women vote.
Yeah. Well, he did seem cool back then, because I was 18 in 1994, so he seemed really cool to our generation. He was different, you know what I mean? As a
I
teenager,
was 24, so it was like he was right there, and like I remember one of my friends worked for his campaign, and that was like huge, for Clinton, because I remember Dave, calling me on the phone and said, "Hey, you got to watch Arsenio," because I watched Arsenio every night anyway, because it was like what they had like all the people that we were listening to on the radio,
Yeah, I think I would watch Arsenio, and before he ended, I think I had deflected to David Letterman. I was a diehard Letterman person after that, though.
Yeah, well,
before I knew it, Arsenio was off the air. And
yeah, well, I was like used to tape like all the late night shows, so I was a Letterman fan like from the '80s when it was on NBC, and I was really pissed off that he didn't get the Tonight Show, because I was figuring to myself, oh man, what Dave is going to do with this show,
I was just thinking, it's funny you're talking about Arsenio Hall. That's a weird coincidence, because he's, Kamala Harris was Arsenio's side piece. You know that, don't you? He was like,
oh really?
Yeah,
didn't know that.
No, that's real. It's not like some made up thing. Yeah, it was like
yeah. Yeah, they'd probably about that same age, probably age group.
Yeah. I'm interested because there's been a theory that's went around for a while about Kamala, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm racist because I didn't pronounce her name correct. We're going to hear a lot of that the next couple
I've
months.
heard it
How
differently.
racist we are. But all the like the cackling and stuff like that. They you know the I want to know. I mean, I know a lot about her past, so I don't think it's true just from reading about her. But there's been a theory is that she's had to dumb herself down because Biden's mental issues. They've told her to dumb herself down. That's why she comes off as an idiot. I think she's just an idiot, but I mean, I'm an idiot too, but I'm not running for president.
Yeah. Well, me and my wife was talking. It's like, man, where has Kamala been? You know what I mean? Like all these years, like you just never see her, like do press
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know if it's just me or not, but I thought I kept up with the news a lot. But
Well, vice presidents are kind of like that. They're really a vice president's got a really insignificant role. They're almost they don't really do much anyway.
yeah,
But
yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, because you
And,
never really saw what was the dude back in the day they used to make fun of
Dan Quayle.
Dan
Yeah.
Quayle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all they did was make fun of him, so that kept him in the news, kind of,
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live, and people, stuff. But
Yeah.
it's like, what did he do? He
But-
didn't do much.
But even that JD Vance, I mean, he's probably a snake in the grass too, from the guys he's connected up with. Bunch of crazy
I don't know.
tech people, bunch of crazy tech people.
Politics are just.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
who's
nuts.
good anymore. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody. I mean, politicians have always been like not
Scumbags.
like
Yeah.
car salesmen and lawyers or something. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shouldn't
I'll tell
be,
you
but-
who I want to when Saturday Night Live gets going again. I hope they get Zach Galifianakis to play Vance on Saturday Night Live because that would be great.
Hmm. Is Zach Galifianakis? Zach Galifianakis? Excuse me. Does he ever come on Saturday Night Live and do bit parts?
I don't know,
or-
but he looks. If you look at JD Vance, he looks like
Yeah.
JD Vance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny how
See-
Saturday Night Live can always find somebody to be the president
Yeah.
all the different decades and different
Yeah.
years, Like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but
Some
they've
of them been
such,
spot on, but some of them's not been that great. But
the show's been such a pocket of the Democratic Party for the past 8 years that
Yeah.
they had gold with Biden. I mean, Trump is all right, but I mean, you could have done so much with Biden. I mean, I mean, you could have been like Jimmy. Was it Jimmy Carter or is it
Gerald Ford.
Gerald Ford?
Gerald.
Yeah, done like a Chevy Chase thing, having fallen down all the time.
Well, that's when
know,
Saturday Night Live was it,
Yeah.
they
Great.
were relevant
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
pushing the edge and stuff
Yeah.
back then. And nowadays it's just like it's just not even funny. Whatever
They-
political leanings, they're just not writing good stuff. They're scared to make fun of anybody anymore or be that deep.
I did see a
It's
bit
just-
they did. I did see a bit that they did a couple months ago. It was during all the I guess was that American Airlines? No, it was Boeing when they were having all the doors falling off the planes and stuff. They did a really good bit. I think it was like a tape bit that they play during the show, but it was a really good bit about that. It was funny.
Well, I still watch it, but they have this guy on Bowen Yang. He's a gay guy on there. Every character he does is gay. Every character. He's a gay bird. He's a gay. And I'm just thinking to myself, they've had gay people on there before that just played it like just a regular character. This
Mhm.
guy plays a gay character every. It's sort of
Yeah.
like Keenan Thompson. He's just the angry
Yeah.
black guy on everything.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the problem in Hollywood. They've done that with everything. They've made it where actors aren't actors anymore. It used to be, and some people complain about this. He's like, well, gay people don't get to play gay characters. You have a straight person playing a gay character or something like it. Like Harvey Milk. Sean Penn doing Harvey Milk or something like that. And But well, I don't know what Sean Penn. But I assume he's been married, so I assume he's a woman, so I assume he's straight. You can't tell anymore.
Well, I mean, it was just an acting role, but still,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you mean. Like, it shouldn't matter, but
Yeah,
as
yeah.
an actor, you should be
Yeah.
able to portray different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So gay people, if they should be, I mean, they've been portraying straight people for a long time. It should be both ways around.
Mhm.
I can understand.
Well, Well,
You
and
know,
for years we didn't know if somebody was gay or not, and now it's like they have to tell you they're gay or something. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Or they
it
have to
doesn't
make
matter
a
to me,
declaration.
but it's like you don't have to tell me all your business. It's fine, whatever. But
Yeah. But they
Yeah.
do like really, but they do like very stereotypical gay stuff. I mean, it's always that's my problem because I've known gay people and had friends that were gay people and they were just normal people. They didn't they weren't all these flamboyant like that gets portrayed in Hollywood. They like all the gay people in Hollywood are evidently just these flamboyant like you know dancing in pride parades and bondage gear type people. It's and they're not. That's the problem, and that's why like real gay people doesn't. They have a big problem with a lot of the LGBTQ stuff going on, because a lot of it's just being pushed by straight white women, that's not really they're not really gay. It's the same, the kind of liberal straight white women. They kind of push all these agendas for some reason, but it's just it's it's just ruined Hollywood with all these.
Well, yeah, it's
these
just
things,
ruined. Everything's just kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's anymore. Nothing's funny no more. Like we're talking about
Yeah.
comedies and stuff. It's just hard to do true
Yeah.
comedy anymore because it's what it's going to be. It's like I don't know. I don't know. I don't find a lot of newer stuff funny.
Hmm.
Stuff. I don't think it's real anymore. Everything's just so manufactured, dumbed down to people, and just so. Even the dumb stuff is dumbed down. You know what I mean? You could never do the Naked Gun movies.
Oh.
Mel Brooks would have a really hard time doing stuff nowadays and stuff. Richard Pryor and people like that.
Oh god, you couldn't have you. I mean, even like John said a couple weeks ago, comedians are being censored. And it's like there's only one real comic that gets away with this shit, and that's Chappelle.
Yeah.
Because he signed this like stupid rich contract with Netflix. And it's just, I mean, that's why it's like today. It's like I remember I was a huge Opie and Anthony fan. I loved Opie and Anthony. You couldn't even do half of the stuff that they got, were doing before, and it's just like even talk because like they had this. Do you know of comedian Patrice O'Neill?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. He used to go on there, and they used to do the top 10 country singles of the week. Well, they had me. I had my ear pod listening to it on there, and I was like openly laughing because I had it while the store was open, and I shouldn't have had it on there. And they were doing, every time they were doing bad Arnold impressions when they said Dierks Bentley, so it was like. And Patrice is like, this motherfucker, bought a car, bought a truck, left his wife, but he's got a stupid ass dog in the truck, and they're doing, oh, but that's Dierks Bentley, oh, like that. And he goes, and it was like some of the stuff you could get still on the YouTube, and I was listening to some of it this week. And it just like cracks me up because you couldn't get away with that on the air now. And I think that's why Stern went to, plus he got a lot of money from Sirius, but I think he wasn't getting away with it on terrestrial air anymore,
Yeah.
Well, he's completely a sellout now. He's just pro every bullcrap thing that they're. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been listening to Stern in years and years.
I know Kenny doesn't like the movie, but it's like some people are like, I don't want to see gay people in movies and stuff like this. But if it's good, it's good. But it's not. But like I like Drive Away Dolls, that Ethan Coen movie that came out last year or earlier this year. I think it may come out in the wintertime. But I liked it. And it's about two lesbian women, who on a road trip essentially.
I don't
And
mind if
I
it's.
thought it was funny.
Listen, I don't mind it if it's done well.
I'm not. I'm
They
not
just-
accusing you of not liking it like
Oh,
that. But
okay.
I'm just. I'm,
No,
I'm not
I-
accusing you of that. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that some people I watch, they don't like anything. But I can understand a movie like that, Bros, or what was it called? Is it Bros?
Yeah, with
That-
Billy on the Street.
Yeah, that movie. I didn't see it actually, but I seen enough about it that it was just over the top. It was trying to be a gay movie, not just a movie about gay people. It was trying to put gayness in your face. They just made, and then when it came out, they're like, "Well, you're not you're homophobic if you don't see this movie." No,
Well, it's like,
No,
why can't
I don't think
why can't
so.
it just be stories? Why do
Yeah.
we need
Exactly.
to know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
why do we need to know this? It's like
Right.
I want to turn my head off for 2 hours. I
Yeah.
don't want the latest
Sorry.
political stuff. You know what I mean? It's
sorry,
just-
Kenny,
I
I
don't-
cut you off with you.
Oh no. I was just going to say there was one that I watched, and like Mike said, it had a great story. It's Blue is the warmest color.
I've heard of that. I haven't seen it though.
Okay, and it's about like one girl is like really rich, and one girl is like really poor, and they meet up at a coffee shop and they start hitting it off, and they're both gay. It was a
Yeah.
good story. One of my friends had told me about it, and she said, "Oh, this is a really good story." And she goes, "Well, it's a gay story." I'm like, "Well, if it's a story, I don't care if it's a good thing, But it was it was a really good story,
Yeah.
I think I want to say that's on Tubi, but I really enjoyed the movie because I think that's even one of the Criterion things that you get now.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's on there.
But it wasn't like it was a good one-time watch. It wasn't like one that I would just go out and buy and just say, let's put that on tonight and watch,
Yeah.
But it was a
Yeah.
good one-time
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's wild. It's just I guess in a way more stuff needed to be represented. But it seems like it gets just too much at some times, and it's like even I don't know, it just bleeds through to everything else. This bleeds through to this. Nothing can just be like everyday
Well-
just
Well,
let's hear about their stories, it doesn't care about who they are, what they do, what they believe in. It's
They want all their topics and everything to be pushed to the mainstream, and the mainstream, there's always been, just talking about, gay people. They've always had stories in independent film, which represents that size of audience, represents the population of, but they try to force these issues into the mainstream, and that's why they're being rejected. People
Right.
aren't homophobic; they just don't want to. That's not their way of life, and they don't relate to it. And some parts. I mean, when you're making a real movie like about real life situations, it can't really make it you can't really picture yourself in it and cross that fantasy level, like you can with like a big blockbuster action movie or something like that.
Yeah. It's like I want to watch different stuff. I don't want
Yeah.
to know just one point of
Yeah.
view or just one
Yeah.
thing. It's kind of like watching only like comic book movies only.
Yeah.
Like all the time. That's all you.
I'm sorry I got us off on political type subject matter.
Well, I mean, it kind of affects what we watch in movies and
Yeah.
stuff. It's been issues in the past, and stuff. I don't know. I'm for everybody. I'm for everybody's way of life,
Mhm.
whatever. I don't.
But kind of what we've been talking about kind of represents more of the dark side of where have all the summer comedies gone, and unfortunately, it's kind of the dark side of that situation.
Well, it's like what they talked about years
Yeah.
ago with political correctness, and it's
Yeah.
finally here, where it's just everything's politically correct.
Yeah.
Like there's no,
Yeah.
There's no. It's 12 o'clock. Your kids have gone to bed. Now we can watch the adult stuff. Where
Yeah.
we hear bad language. Stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like that no more. It's like everything has to be squeaky clean or one point of view or something. I don't know. It's
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm not a political. I don't
Neither
know
am I.
anything. I don't know much. I know a little bit, but I don't know much. So
But Kenny, did you watch the credits in Drive By Dolls?
No.
Much of the credits, okay. Because I'm pretty sure they wanted it, because there's at the end, when they flash the name of the movie after the credits, or sometimes
Mhm.
before, but like after the credits, the title card comes to. It's called Drive By Dykes. I think that's what they wanted to call the movie, but they couldn't do it.
Wow. Okay.
I think it was
Yeah.
just too.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Jonah Hill and his sister's in it, and
But he's not
I
in it.
just-
It
No,
has
but
nothing to do.
she was just
She was funny in it.
well, I didn't care for it.
I don't know. Jonah Hill's just not as funny, or I don't know. Maybe he was never funny, but I don't know. Just there's a difference in the
Yeah.
younger Jonah and then like the newer Jonah. I don't know.
Well, I remember people saying, "Oh, Kenny, you gotta watch this super bad movie. It's so funny." I swear, I didn't laugh once. I think I cracked a smile when he came out with the McLovin license. Because I thought that was kind of, because you did stupid shit when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But Jonah Hill, I thought he was like a fat, abrasive guy that, like, no wonder he didn't have any friends. You know what I mean? And then, hear stories about him being a real asshole and, really, really bad dude and stuff like that. And I had really no time for him, and I don't even support his movies, I guess
Yeah,
those
they're-
21 Jump Street movies are good, but I wouldn't know because I don't support any of his movies.
Yeah, there's some actors you can look past their their past things they've done or stuff, and there's some people it really affects you. You can't turn off who they really are for a couple hours just to kind of be entertained. Sometimes it just.
Well, like I said before, I don't know if you were here. I'm like, I can't watch a Kevin Spacey movie now. As much as I love Usual Suspects.
I watched it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. That's all.
No, it just ties. It ties to that. I was trying to think. What I was. Jonah Hill's is one of those kind of, I don't really care. I like Superbad, but if this has to do with the guy that played McLovin, I'm sorry. You might as well call him McLovin because he don't care if people call him that in real life. But he's actually had quite a career since. You don't think about it, but he's been in quite a few movies and he's done a lot of voice acting work.
Cool.
And he's in a band, but he said when they brought him on the movie that Jonah Hill didn't like him because I don't know if he kind of stole this. But they had a clash, but Jonah Hill's the one that didn't like him for some reason. He thought he should be the big deal.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't even famous yet, really, and he's already got an ego, So that's
Yeah, he was even in that movie that I watched that I liked with Louis Black and Accept It. He was in where they had like the fake college, and the guys like they were all like they all did. If you watch it, it's pretty funny. They all didn't get into like junior college or something like that. So Justin Long knew that that this like school was closing up. So what they did was they had a fake college and they turned it into this like it was like a mental institution or something. And they had one of the main loonies was Louis Black, and they made him the dean of this like fake college and stuff like that. And one of the guys in it was Jonah Hill, and he basically played the same role as he did in Superbad, the obnoxious fat kid, you know. And it was just like I didn't like him then, don't like him now,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah,
it's like,
I thought it was. Go. I'm sorry.
oh no, and it's another guy that I cannot as soon as I see him on the screen, I turn him right off, and that's Jesse Eisenberg. There's just something about him that I do not like.
Yeah, I don't know. He's okay, but
Yeah.
depends on what it is. I guess I don't know.
I
I'm sure
don't
there's
know.
people. I don't. Yeah, I don't really have my opinion on people like that too much, but I don't really.
There's
He's
some
another
people.
one I don't really think about too much because he doesn't. He's never done anything like really big or anything. He just did pretty much
Well,
those
Zombieland.
zombie. Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Well,
that's
he was
not.
nominated for
That's
Best Actor for the Facebook movie.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
Social
yeah,
Network.
yeah. That's the one he did. Yeah, I guess he did have some range, some acting range. Or I was trying to think what he's
Yeah,
done that was really big. Yeah,
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 he's pretty good in that. The
yeah,
Zombieland movies, but
yeah.
you know,
No, I like the Zombieland movies. I just didn't. He's just another one I don't really think about.
yeah,
Too much.
yeah,
Let me tell you, you guys have to watch it. I think they have it on TNT now, and I know it's on. Dude, I was like so into like Army Hammer. I thought this guy was going to be like the next big star, good looking kid, really good acting. I really liked Man from Uncle. I liked Lone Ranger. I
Yeah,
think I was the only one that liked Lone Ranger, you know. Then
yeah,
you have these like things that he comes out, he's a cannibal and like rapes women and shit like this. And I'm like, oh my god, my mind was totally blown when I seen that
yeah.
special.
yeah. It's like, do people really believe that he's a cannibal? Though, you know what I mean? It's like, why are people so stupid sometimes?
Mike,
You know?
Yeah.
on that documentary, he was branding people like with an A on it. Like he had branded like three, and he went on the English Piers Morgan, and he
Yeah,
goes, "Oh well, it was like a tattoo," and Piers Morgan goes, "Yeah, but it wasn't by a tattoo. You used a knife," and she goes, and he's like, "Well, some people can't take the pain." I'm thinking, you didn't deny it. You just said, yeah, you did it.
yeah, but since that, look at all these other people like Puff Daddy's come out and he's
Oh
got this
yeah,
crazy backstory what he does behind closed doors. R. Kelly and just we know people aren't saints in their personal life, but still
Yeah.
they pretty much ran him out of Hollywood, for lesser craziness, I guess you could say, but still craziness. I don't
yeah.
know.
But the some of that stuff goes even deeper than that. I mean, Hollywood's a dark place, and it's unbelievable how dark it is. It's been in the past. We Things we probably will never know.
Well,
Yeah.
what
Especially,
surprised me was that Nickelodeon special I watched.
oh yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
could.
I wanted to watch that. I haven't
Oh,
seen it
Mike,
yet.
you got to watch that. It's so unsettling because
I,
it,
we were too. Me and you were too old for that, But like the kids from that grew up in the '90s and
I
stuff, that
was
was like,
too. Yeah, I
oh,
was too. I didn't watch any of that stuff
oh,
growing
okay.
up.
yeah,
I was probably closer to the. I mean, Mike's not much older than me. A couple of years,
uh,
I think.
I'm
So
48.
yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
got
I'm
three. Yeah.
sorry. I thought me and you were about the same age. Sorry about that, Mike.
Oh, pretty close,
So,
but not.
Yeah.
yeah. But well, Mike was probably definitely a little bit too old. I was kind of, but I still didn't really. I didn't watch any of that stuff back in the day. Like, but actually, I went back a few years ago. I think I'd seen something on Amanda Bynes, and I bought the Amanda show because you could get it on DVD. Like
Oh.
some of the stuff you can't get, like all that and things, shows like that. And she's talented. It's a funny show. It's got funny characters, and
Mhm.
My
is it
nieces
creep?
used to love her, and it was like
Yeah,
it's a shame. And she was such a pretty girl, and I think they really you watched that documentary, Mike. I think those producers and that creator guy like really really screwed her.
Yeah.
really
Oh,
like did things to her, like
Oh, yeah.
inappropriate things.
Yeah, we know now, like with, Weinstein and different people, where there's money and power, there's darkness a lot of
Yeah,
times, and stuff. So
it's
it's
so
like
sad.
anywhere though, anywhere there's power like that, like that one dude with the island and stuff. What's his face? I don't know.
yeah,
But
she
like
looks
John said,
terrible.
we'll probably never know like some of the craziest stuff.
Yeah, she looks
Yeah.
terrible now. Like she did like a was trying to do like a YouTube channel or something with this this guy called himself Jesus. I think he was like this gay guy called himself Jesus. Had like long hair. But I just seen a clip of like one show and she looked terrible. That's what I was trying to find, but I can't. Haven't found the
I know
picture
she
of it
had
yet.
tattoos on that pretty face too, which was
Yeah,
really on. And plus, she had like all kinds of piercings, like in her face and stuff, and just like
Yeah,
that girl was
it's
so pretty, and it was a
yeah.
shame because we watched. I remember my nieces liked Big Fat Liar with Frankie and Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah,
mm,
she's
What a cute kid, And it was like, I mean, you have kids, Mike, so you watch those movies over and over and over and over and over again.
yeah, some of them, but
Yeah, but I'm just saying, well, kids movies.
yeah. My kid's always been into anime,
Oh,
animation
really?
and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you know
so a lot of the animated movies, yeah, but not so much like the Nickelodeon shows and stuff.
yeah. That's her now. That's Amanda
Such a shame.
Bynes now. Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
terrible too. She was horrible.
yeah, she's almost 40. I'm looking
Yeah,
her up. She's 38.
Jeez.
yeah. But it's she was so talented too. Like, and then she did a few movies too. I don't think I've really seen the movies. She did that one called like she
Sydney
is it called
White.
She's All That or something like that. Or
Yeah,
but
she's
she
the
was
man.
yeah she's the man. That's it.
She did one that my mom liked. We watched all the time was Sydney White, where she lived with a bunch of like nerds. It was like a takeoff of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but that
I
that
haven't
was
seen that
that
one.
was cute. That was cute. I mean, she did like cool family
Yeah,
movies that you could sit and watch, and it
yeah,
was just like, it's just a shame what happened to her.
yeah. Many other child actors as well.
Yeah,
The ones that turned out good is the ones that had good parents who stayed on set and all the time. But I was shocked to find out, like, because that's what I've always said. Because I've always known child actors have had like horrible time in Hollywood, you know, since the beginning of time of the movie industry for sure. But I was always, it's one of those fantasies. It's like, oh, if I ever owned my own, after I was ever in charge or owned a film studio, I would make it it'd be a rule where you had the parents had to be on set with the kids. To find out Nickelodeon, that was the case. That is a rule.
yeah,
It was a rule, but they would find ways to separate the kids from the parents. Freaking crazy. So it's just it's Hollywood is just it's
It's crazy.
it sucks that how much I like movies, but the kind of I guess pain and neglect that it's doled out over the years.
hmm
For people, it's crazy that so many like beautiful works of art have came out of it, but it's been under the kind of the guise of. I mean, and a lot of it stems back to management. It's not so much necessarily the filmmakers themselves. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't.
Yeah, it's the
But
people behind the scenes most of the time that
yeah,
causes all the issues,
yeah,
one way or another.
yeah,
It's, I don't know. It's bad, especially for child actors. They get caught up, and then if they don't catch
yeah,
on anymore, like we all know what happens to a lot of child actors. It's,
Yeah.
After they can't get roles anymore and stuff, they just go downhill. Not all of them, but a lot of
Yeah.
them.
That's like I was saying. There's some of them that parents are really, they were really good about the kids being with them on set, things like that.
Didn't steal their
turned out pretty
money
good.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty common in the past.
Yeah. I think Ryan Gosling. I was just thinking about Ryan Gosling. He's in so many things now, and I like him. He's a good actor. But I think he was like on the Disney
Mm-hmm.
Channel, Disney
Mickey Mouse Club.
Mickey Mouse Club as well. I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah, me too, John. Yeah, I heard that. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he
So
was
many
on
people
with
came from
Brittany and Christina Aguilera.
that. And, Justin
There was
Timberlake.
there was a group then, and I don't know if the thing it still exists or not. I don't know if they still do it or not, but there was like that certain group from that era that's like, how many celebrities did they make from that group?
Quite a bit.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was a lot of them came off that. Like same years, that same
Yeah.
years and stuff. Yeah. It's wild.
Did you guys see First Man? That's a Damien Chazelle movie. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I watched that. It's pretty decent.
And
Yeah.
I like space movies, stuff like that about NASA, and I liked how they did. It's really surprising the kind of way he approached it, because there's been so many NASA movies where you just see, they'll always have they did show the Saturn V launching for Apollo, but the others were like just cockpit shots, and you've seen how much shaking and vibrating went on in an actual launch. Well, it's probably some exaggeration, but you've seen like cockpit, the POV view of everything, and I thought that was really cool. There's a different aspect of doing a movie like that, more personable. For like a Neil Armstrong type movie.
Yeah, I like that one pretty much.
Yeah. What do you think about what did you guys since I'm on that subject of Ryan Gosling, what do you guys think about La La Land?
I never saw that.
I never seen it either.
Really?
It won Best Picture though, didn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. It's Ryan Gosling and
Oh no, Moonlight did.
Was it
Because
Moonlight?
that was the year Warren Beatty screwed it up and said La La Land, and then it was really Moonlight.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And
I didn't see Moonlight either though.
Yeah, it never appealed to me to watch that.
No, it wasn't. No.
it was pretty good. I've watched it again recently. There's something about it. It's a beautiful movie, beautifully shot. It's not as much of a musical as you think it's going to be going in, because it kind of starts with a music number, and then it kind of trails off the musical numbers, which I kind of like. I'm not a big musical person, so it's not that bad. But there's something about it I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know. Yeah.
It's about Hollywood, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, it's about kind of two kind of struggling people. What's her name? Redhead. I always forget her name. Emma Stone. Yeah, she's like I guess you'd call her just a struggling actor. She's like working at a film studio as a barista in a coffee shop on the studio lot, but she's trying to be an actor, and he's like a jazz musician. He's like a big free jazz, like real, that would be like a Miles Davis type. They're really into like avant-garde kind of jazz, and he's like really wants to make it like that, or just have his own club. He doesn't really have any ambition, and they kind of meet and start dating and stuff like it. It's kind of takes that. It's kind of I guess a romantic type movie. I guess it's a rom-com a little bit.
Yeah.
It's more of a romantic drama.
It's kind of similar
me.
to New York, New York, the Scorsese
Yeah.
movie. You ever seen it? I mean,
Yeah.
with the characters, not so much
Yeah.
storyline,
Yeah.
but kind of that. Yeah.
But it's slowly, like, she kind of slowly starts getting gigs, and it does some cool little twist things, and little twists, and then it's interesting, but I don't know, there's something just a little something off to me, and I don't know. It's kind of like the his next his latest movie. What is it called? It's not Hollywoodland. It was. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. His last movie, it was
Goslings.
Gosling's. Well, he did Barbie.
no,
Barbie
Damien
movie.
Chazelle. Excuse me, Damien Chazelle.
Oh, okay.
Um,
He did the Brad Pitt one, right? Babylon.
Babylon. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's that one's the same way. I like it. There's a lot I like about it because it's kind of about the history of Hollywood right at the turn of from the silent movie to the talkie, like it happens in the movie where they start filming with sound, and you get to see like a sound stage set up where it's literally when they had the camera in the box and people were like passing out or dying because of heat inside the camera
Yeah.
box, but stuff like that. But it's a very broad movie with a lot of characters, and I think that's the problem. It loses its focus because it has too many moving parts going on.
Yeah.
But it has some interesting things because Margot Robbie's in it, and she's pretty good. And I can't even remember the other people. It's got like 4 different storylines going on that kind of interweave. They kind of intermix a little bit.
That movie looks beautiful, though.
Yeah,
I mean, you can tell they're good.
Go ahead. No, I did. I was just reacting.
No, I was
Go
just going
ahead.
to say you can tell they spent a lot of money on that because the art direction's great in there. The costumes are really good. Everything looks really good in that movie. I just didn't care for it overall.
Oh, you have seen it though?
Yeah, I have seen
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. There's something off about it. You know what I'm getting at? It's just like there's some. See, there's some off-putting scenes. There's a couple off-putting scenes, and the first one happens at the very beginning. It's that whole scene where the elephant craps all over.
Yes.
And it's just it don't need to be there. It's like they're trying to move. If you haven't seen it, Mike, they're trying to move an elephant. They're transporting an elephant, and like a car gets stuck behind them or something, and the elephant
because they're going to they're going to the party.
Yeah,
and it just like all of a sudden, I mean and that's another one that the editing could have been like trimmed at least 25 minutes.
Yeah,
you don't need I mean, some of these movies now are like, I mean, are crazy, and I don't care if it's a good story. I'm invested, But that movie was, I think, 248, and I'm thinking to myself, this didn't need to be a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It had a couple of scenes like that in there that was it kind of almost it ruins the. I guess it kind of. What can I say? It ruins the
pace of the movie. It didn't even mean anything in the long run with the movie either.
Yeah, exactly. And what was the name of the? It's a UFO movie by. I'll just have to look it up here. I'm sorry. There's a UFO movie with what's the British? What's his name? In Shaun of the Dead. I always forget his name.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. That alien movie. Paul. It has the same fucking thing happen in it. It's a funny movie. I like the concept. It's a fun movie, but it has that scene where they go into the little alien restaurant. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that scene, Kenny?
No, I don't.
They go into the. It's like, and he orders like an UFO themed like milkshake,
right?
And like there's some guys that come in off the street, and like they basically I forget they like bully him in some weird way, like basically, and it's like so off putting. It's so weird. It's like it's really strange, and it just like puts a weird aura on the movie for the rest of the movie. It just was
Mhm.
weird, and sometimes that happens, and that's happened in several movies I've watched, and it's just strange, when that happens in a movie. It's like it ruins the movie a little bit,
Yeah,
and
I've
that
seen
and
that a
they
couple of times, and I don't remember that part. I need to rewatch it, but it's always been my least favorite
I can't. I
of
haven't
some of
watched
them.
it in a while, Mike, and I can't remember exactly what happens. But it's like a bunch of. It's like some kind of redneck guys that come in, like locals, and
Mhm.
they basically make fun of him. But it's like the way they do it. It's like really weird. It's like
Mhm.
yeah, they make fun of him because he's like a tourist buying like this like UFO drink, But it's like really strange. It's like out of place because it probably wouldn't happen if you lived in that area because you would know you would be hurting tourist money, because there's not.
Yeah,
It's out in the middle of the desert.
yeah,
It's kind of. It's not so much of that. It's just. It's almost like calling somebody like a gay person the F slur,
yeah.
and it's like off putting like that. It's like really weird.
Mhm.
It doesn't fit in the movie, and I would have cut it out. It ruined,
Yeah.
like Kenny said, the pace of the movie and the.
Hmm.
But to me, it's not so much the pace; it just ruins the freaking tone of the movie. It didn't fit.
Yeah. Hmm. I need to rewatch it again. I mean, I
Yeah,
really like Simon Pegg a lot.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
yeah. But yeah, I haven't seen Babylon either, though. But I like
yeah,
movies like that.
yeah,
Movies about Hollywood, kind of behind the
Yeah,
scene type
it, it
movies.
I'm
yeah,
Mike. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful looking movie, and it's
yeah,
like it's. I mean, you can tell they spent money on this movie, okay, to
yeah,
make it because it looks. But it's just like the 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 pacing of it. Some of the story just didn't make any sense, and
Mhm.
it was like I've only seen it once, and it's like because you're investing 3 hours on something, you want at least something that entertains you,
Yeah, you
and
want
it
to
was
care
just
about it. Yeah,
yeah,
care about the
and
characters
and it
and
was just like you were sitting there, and I remember I was watching it with my friend, and I turned to her and I was like, "Did that make any sense to you?" And she's like, "No," because we were like, I mean, that's why another reason why I like to sit and watch it like movies at home, because it's like you can sort of like mystery science theater it in your house,
yeah,
unless
Mhm.
it's like really good. But like if you're watching like you know one that's like a 2 or 3 kind of star movie, you're questioning it, and it's like, well, why did they put that in the movie, or kind of you're like doing your own criticism like during it.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, how much do you guys think? What's your? I should have asked Jody before he left. What's your prediction for a Deadpool Wolverine this week? How much you think it'll make?
Oh, I think it'll do well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you want a number, I'll just say 120 opening weekend.
Oh, I think that's low.
Yeah, I don't
I think
know
it's
with.
low.
Oh no, 200 million maybe.
I
Yeah.
was thinking 320
Okay,
Okay.
because it's got the extra day,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like I think at least 320 because they're going to do global, you know, on it.
Yeah. I think people are waiting for something like that. I don't know. I think
yeah,
it's
Well, the
something.
only two movies that have really hit this year, if you think about it, is Inside Out 2 and this one. There
Yeah.
hasn't been
yeah,
any big summer blockbusters out there.
yeah,
Well, I mean, if they're betting right, I mean, they're going to want people in the theaters. So that's
yeah,
the difference between part two and this one has been the whole streaming war type of thing going on. So it
yeah,
may do good, yeah, but I don't know. I think people will turn out for that.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
and
mean,
well, like you said, like your son and stuff got them on. I mean, how many people pre-ordered them months ago when they found out it was coming to their theater? You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
Hmm. Probably a lot.
yeah.
and especially if they want to see, like Jody said, $30 some for IMAX theater, and you know that is in IMAX too, right? So
The ticket sales from that should be good because it's a higher ticket, you know.
yeah, so that's why I'm going about 320, 325 for a weekend. But it'll be interesting to see word of mouth and that second week to see how much it falls. But they don't really track the movies like they used to anymore, you know, because there's not that many coming out, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, probably around in that neighborhood, I would say, because it's a well-known, established franchise and stuff. So.
Yeah. And it's not that people don't know these stars, because I mean, I was just telling John before he got on. Do you have Paramount Plus, Mike?
No, we don't have that one.
Oh, okay. Because if that movie with John Krasinski did, The Imaginary, that was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. They tried to do Drop Dead Fred with no funny parts, basically.
Yeah, I wondered about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad, and I thank God that it was on Paramount Plus before you know, looking to buy it.
That sucked because his horror movies, the other two,
those were good.
Yeah. What are they called?
Quiet Place.
In a Quiet Place. Yeah.
Yeah, Quiet Place. Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a shame because you know his heart was in the right place. He probably made a kids movie for his kids. You know, these like actors get into a spot when they, like Eddie Murphy did. You know, when he just started making Dr. Dolittle and Daddy Day Camp and stuff like that because he was having like scores of kids. You know, but it's just like, man, it was just like. I sat there and I didn't laugh, I didn't chuckle, I didn't smile once during this, you know, and it just like everything seemed forced.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a shame.
That Emily Blunt's so fucking hot too.
She's a beautiful girl.
She's got an ass on her. I'm sorry. She's got a. I watched one of the award shows that came out this year, and where she was in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
There's like after who's this guy? What's the guy that stars in it? His name Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy. Yeah. Cillian or Killian? Is it Cillian Murphy? It doesn't matter.
I'll say Killian, in Running Man.
But he like wins, I think, the best actor award or whatever, and she like hugs him, and it seems like he hugs her. It's not awkward looking, but it looks like he hugs her. He's just hugging her, and you see John Krasinski, like he pats him on the back, like, oh, all right, you've been hugging her a long time. It's kind of funny, but yeah, she is beautiful. Yeah, but
that's the only reason why I watched the Mary Poppins movie, because she was in it. There's like certain movies that you'll watch because you couldn't top the original Mary Poppins. They sure as hell didn't do it, but she was very charming, and I try to watch the stuff that she's in. You know, there was a really good underrated horror movie that she was in, Wind Chill. That was really good.
Yeah,
I think that's on Tubi.
Yeah, I think Babylon is on Netflix. So I might check that out because I haven't seen it yet. So
strap in, pack a snack though.
Yeah, it says it's 3 hours and 9 minutes.
Okay, 3:09. Okay.
Yeah.
I was being generous with 2:48.
Yeah, close, but yeah.
Some movies can be long like that, and they don't feel long, but some movies do. Even though Lord of the Rings were long like that, they did feel,
because I was interested in it.
Well, I was interested, but they still were long, especially if you start having to pee like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
in a theater. That's the worst thing about theaters. You know, if you get stuck, you get stuck in the middle of a long movie like that. You know, you got to either hold it, and by the time the end comes, you're about to pee your pants.
I would just use that ginormous popcorn bowl you have to buy. Hey, no one might see it.
Yeah.
Depends on how bad. I hate being stuck in the middle of the roll, and you have to get up to go all the way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last movie I went to was I think the first time I ever went to the bathroom, other than to go into the bathroom and wait for the other movie to start and then sneak into the theater to see it. But it was like seeing Guardians 3 last May. It got to the point with you've seen it, right, Mike? So,
yeah.
Okay, it's where Rocket went back. They captured him and they went back to the two other animals. And I turned to my niece and I said, "I gotta go to the bathroom." She goes, "Well, hurry up." And I'm like, "Well, I only have one speed, slow." So it's like, got up, got there, and then I came out, and it was like I didn't miss that much because the bathroom was like literally right across from there. But it was just like I said to my cousin, I said, I am officially old where I had to do my mom and get up and go to the bathroom, because me and my brother used to berate my mom. Like, how the hell could you go to the bathroom during this part of the movie? And she goes, "Nature called." And I'm like, okay. We would just like tease her about it, but it was just like, yep,
Well,
now I understood,
Yeah, I mean, you can berate a younger woman too about it. They'll piss in the middle of something important in the middle of the movie too. It's a woman thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I never understood the whole, the conga line to go in the bathroom with the women. I never understood that. Ask your wife that, Mike. Why do you guys go in packs?
Mm-hmm. Well, they have to powder their noses.
Oh, is that it? Okay. I just never understood it. It's like on church on Sunday, there's like about 5 women that get up to go to the bathroom at the same time. I'm thinking, there's only 2 toilets. What are you doing?
Because they got to critique the conversation that's been going on and talk shit about their husbands or boyfriends or dates. They got to,
Well, it's like in high school when you go to smoke in the bathroom or something. You'd have to have like a lookout and all this stuff. So 5 guys to smoke a cigarette or something, in the bathroom.
Yeah, it just always catches me funny, when they do that.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I'm gonna shut this down for the evening. I think I need to take my medicine.
We didn't hear the alarm tonight.
No, I've turned that off finally.
Oh, okay.
A couple of weeks. Yeah.
I
don't need it. I didn't need it from day one. I just left it on there. I'm weird about alarms like that. Sometimes I'll just leave them set anyways, even though I know they're going to go off. I do it. It's from like snoozing, like a snooze alarm in the morning. Cause I'm bad when I work about having a snooze alarm. And I drove a girlfriend crazy. I used to have like 2 or 3 snooze alarms set on my phone, and I would snooze up to the very last minute I need to get up. Yeah.
Yeah. Set like all of them. I'm bad about that too.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for dropping by this evening, and come check us out next week. We'll be talking movies again.
And we'll see if our predictions are right about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say 300.
Hopefully you guys are right. But
I'm going to say 325. What do you got, John?
I'm going to stay with 120 because I'm just going off. I just don't know. I have no idea.
That's true. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. But I know I'm not saying that to say it's going to do bad. I'm just saying numbers, even for good, haven't been high. I just don't know. Because heck, this is going to do good. What did Guardians of the Galaxy do?
I thought it did decent.
Opening week? Let me look.
Yeah,
Guardians. Which one, John? 3 or
part 3, the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
The last one. because this would be a good example because it was kind of a diamond in the rough Marvel movie because it didn't really fit the whole thing going on right now. Made by a competent filmmaker.
Opening weekend in USA and Canada was 118.
Mm.
But my
Yeah.
question is, and it was on May 7th too, so it didn't have a 4-day run.
Yeah.
Why
I don't
does
know.
why
It's
why
hard. It's hard to tell.
is there
anymore.
is there a what holidays this weekend? Am I being stupid?
No, I think it's no. There's no holiday.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
I mean, most of the movies still open on Thursdays anymore. They consider Thursday the opening day anymore,
Yeah,
especially for these big movies. Sometimes they open on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
this
I
one
used to always
opened-
think they were Wednesday would be
Yeah.
the opening sometimes.
Technically, but I think they only. How do they count it though? Do they just count it from Friday to Sunday? Is that how they actually count it though? I don't even know.
That I'm not really sure.
They
Because
try
I
to
think
count
that-
everything nowadays.
Yeah, I
Every
don't
cent
know.
they can get.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I
this
mean-
is IMDb, and they said the budget was 250. The opening weekend in USA and Canada was 118, and then the gross alone in Canada and the US was 358, and the worldwide gross was 845.
So it made about 300 million.
Oh yeah,
Because the actual gross, I mean the actual cost of the movie with advertising is about 500 in that range. If it was 250, they say you always double the budget whenever for advertising. Whether that's true, absolutely true or not for every movie, who knows? But that's just a general kind of rule to movies,
okay.
which is crazy.
I'm on Deadline now. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the preview, just the preview night,
Yeah.
$40 million.
I hope it does good. I mean, I hope it does good. I don't personally don't want to see Disney do good because I want them to change their ways. But hopefully they will if they see that something that's not, something that's should, they need to see. But they've had examples of that, like Guardians and stuff. They know what works and what people want to see, but they don't care. They just want to push an agenda. That's all they've cared about the last 5, 6, 7 years. Just pushing an agenda. They got to push this agenda.
They just say here it's an uncharted territory for sure. Note that Doctor Strange in the Multi-Universe posted 36 in previews in 2022 and got 187 3-day, but that was 3-day. And then Avengers: Infinity War did 39 in previews and did a 3-day total of 257. So, but for some reason, I think this is going to be bigger than both of the other ones because it's just, I think the appeal of the character, where you had appeal of the characters with Infinity War, and I don't think.
Well, you have two very appealing characters in this. Because Wolverine's like the most popular X-Men ever. Technically, he's a lot more popular than Deadpool. So you have two like really good characters,
Yeah,
to pull from,
Yeah, Guardians made 845 million worldwide as of July 24, as of last month or this month. So I don't know.
But
They did pretty good.
I just hope it. Well, another thing it plays into it also, Kenny, is that you haven't had anything big to take for people to go to the theater.
Yeah.
So that's what made drive it. See, last year, I mean, I guess Guardians came out before, but you also had Barbie and Oppenheimer and several other movies. You didn't have people getting theater fatigue. Going to so many movies this year, and nobody's had a whole lot to go to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Those were both surprise hits, and then like that Top Gun sequel was a big hit
Yeah.
that nobody saw coming.
Yeah.
So
Well, fellas, let's sign off for this evening. Thanks everybody for coming by once again, and we'll see